Chosen Vessels, what's the deal? It's your main man, Druuill, and I'm back at you again with another video. I need every vessel to hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe. Shout out to the Galactic family, the GCVs, and of course, Drew Nation. Let's get right into it. You broke the spell and put those haters on silent mode. Now they have nothing else to do but be quiet. There were some people saying some pretty harsh things about you. There were some people who had nothing but horrible things to say when it came to you. But you put them in their place with actions. Your actions spoke louder than your words. And the fact that you were able to prove them wrong, now they have nothing else to do but be silent. You broke the spell they tried to cast over your life. They tried to cast some spells over you that were going to put you in poverty. They tried to cast spells over you that were going to leave you with joblessness. They tried to cast some spells over you that were going to cause you to have some upheavals, some downfalls, and just terrible things occur. But you broke the spell. They wanted you to be nothing. They wanted you to not be able to do anything. They wanted you to have a miserable life and to be just downtrodden and be in a depressed state constantly every day. They wanted you to be so sad and hurt and just utterly destroyed to the point where you wouldn't want to have any enjoyment in life, period. They didn't want you to have anything good going on in your life. And you broke the spell. You said, not me. I don't know what they think they're trying to do to my life, but God in me is not going to let it happen. You had other plans for yourself. You had other plans to just be a better person and just to enjoy yourself more than the idea that they had for you. They had an idea for you to just be miserable and to not have any fun at all with your life. They wanted you to be unhappy 24/7, and you caught on to that very quickly. You were able to tell that they didn't want you to have any joy. You know, we're put here to have life and to live it more abundantly, to have more abundance, all right? And they didn't want you to have any abundance. They didn't want you to be living good. They wanted you to be stuck living beneath your means, having to deal with the bare minimum. And that's not something that you put up with. That's not something that you were going to allow to happen. You destroyed that idea that they tried to put in your mind of yourself having to live a lesser quality of life. It's something that you just didn't want any parts of, and you broke that spell. You spoke positive things into your life. You told yourself that you were going to be able to make things happen for you. You told yourself that you were going to be able to do phenomenal things. They tried to make you think that you weren't able to do what you were put here to do. They tried to make you think that you weren't going to become what you were put here to become. And you crushed that. You destroyed that. You sent that back to them. You returned that back to sender. You didn't allow those things to take place. You weren't going to let them get away with that at all. You weren't going to let them get away with any of those spells. You rejected those spells. You redirected those spells of unhappiness, of misery, of misfortune. You expelled those negative spells wholeheartedly and completely. You started to feel that something wasn't right energetically. You could start to tell that someone was sending out something dark and mischievous. You could feel the black magic coming from somewhere, and you had to get it out of your system. You had to get it out of your energy field. You did not dwell with that black magic living within you. You knew there were some things you had to say. You knew there were some prayers you had to make. You knew there were some things you had to do. You had to do some things to uplift your spirit. You had to do some things that made you feel good. You had to fight back against the negativity that someone was sending out over you. You felt there was a dark cloud over you. You felt that there was just a film of negativity wrapped around your energy, and you had to destroy it. All right. You didn't feel good at certain times and certain aspects of your life, and you just knew that something wasn't right. You knew that somebody had sent out something dark and twisted. All right. You knew that somebody was sending out some demonic energy your way, and you didn't want anything to do with that. You weren't going to have that. You weren't going to let that happen. You told yourself that you were going to come out on top, and you were going to not succumb to whatever they wanted you to be. All right, there are some people that wanted you to be dreary eyed. All right, there are some people that wanted you to get stuck in complain mode. There are some people that wanted you to get stuck in just a autopilot mode of misery, to where you're just your shoulders are slumped. You're just don't look upbeat. You don't look like your normal self. And that's the thing. They wanted to cast a spell over you to where you wouldn't be able to be your normal cheerful self, because you are the type of person that you don't let life get you down. All right, things come into your life. Bad things may happen, but you don't ever let those things get you down. You don't let those things destroy you. You're the type of person that you deal with those things energetically, spiritually, mentally, and even physically. You'll deal with how you feel. You don't just try to ignore it and then keep it moving in life. All right. When you don't feel right, when something doesn't feel good, it's something it's something that somebody sent out over you. And when you are a joyful person, when you're like content with who you are, when you're positive, upbeat, happy person or whatever, when you feel good about your life and people can see that, they may send something out to you because they don't necessarily like that. They don't want to see that. So what they'll do is they'll try to work black magic over your life. They'll try to send some type of dark spirit or some type of dark spell over you to try to make you feel downtrodden, try to make you feel depressed, try to make you feel sad, try to make you feel discouraged, things of that nature. But you always know how to bounce back. You always know how to control your energy, and you know how to manipulate your energy correctly to get your spirit back to its rightful place. You always know how to get your spirit feeling back and uplifted and right with God. All right, because you're the type of person that as soon as you feel that something is wrong, as soon as you feel that something's not right, you fix it immediately. You always will fix how you feel, and you'll always, in a sense, control how you feel. All right. You don't allow those negative feelings to take over you and to take hold of you. When you feel sad, you know how to fix it. When you feel down, you know how to fix it. When depression tries to come your way, you know how to fix it. And sometimes when you just like feel a negative feeling out of nowhere, to where it's like, how did I start feeling like this? I was having a good day, and then boom, it feels like you've been hit with like some type of uh, just negative energy field or something like that. It may be someone sending out something over you. All right. And every time you feel that, you break that spell. You don't let those things take control. You don't let those things manifest in your life now that you have become aware of it. It may have taken some time, it may have taken a little while, but now you have become aware of people trying to manifest negativity in your life. Maybe they try to tell you that you're not doing enough. Maybe they try to make you feel that you're never going to meet up to their standards. All right, you have to set your own standards. They tried to put a spell on you to where you were going to try to continue to try to meet up to their standards, try to constantly um, apply yourself to what they were trying to get you to be, or trying to get you to live up to be. And you finally realize that, you know what, I don't have to live up to anybody else's standards. What I'm doing is enough. All right, what I'm doing is good enough. If I'm able to be happy about what I'm doing, and it's nothing wrong that I'm doing, and I'm going to be able to take care of myself, it's nothing wrong with how you live your life, right? It's nothing wrong with how you live your life. So if you're not able to constantly apply yourself to meet up to somebody else's standards, that's another spell that people will try to put over your life. It's like whatever you do, it's never good enough. You always constantly have to try to do something better or do something bigger to try to meet somebody else's standards, and they keep moving the goalposts. It's still never enough. You'll do this, it's not enough. You do that, it's not enough. They'll constantly try to put you down for things to where you never feel like you've achieved anything or accomplished anything. Even though you've accomplished many things, you've achieved many things. You may not be the richest person in the world. You may not be the most famous person in the world yet, but you don't have to set your standards according to anybody else's. And if anybody has tried to set you up in a mindset, or tried to set you up in life to where you feel you have to meet their standards, that's a spell they put over you. And once you realize that you didn't have to apply yourself for them, you didn't have to make yourself better for them, you didn't have to become anything for them, you realize that, wait a minute, this is something like some dark magic here. This is something like a spell someone has put over me. And people will use against you the influence that they have over you in your life. And that's also a spell as well. And you, if you're aware and you are conscious of this, you have now broken the spell that they have tried to cast over you of never being good enough. Some people will try to cast a spell over you of never being good enough. Nothing you ever do is good enough. You do one thing, they're going to tell you to do two things. You do two things, they're going to try to tell you you need to do three things. You basically save yourself from a burning house. They're going to tell you to do it two more times. All right, you save the day. They're going to try to tell you to save the night as well. It's nothing that you can do that will be good enough for certain people. And it's like they want you to be perfect. So you broke the spell of not being good enough, and also you broke the spell of perfectionism. All right, if you are aware of these things, you broke the spell. If you stopped doing these things and started living your life for you, you broke the spell. And now they're on silent mode. Now they don't know what to say, they don't know what to do. They're trying to figure out another way to entrap you in something else. They're trying to figure out something else that they can do to try to bring you back down to your knees to serve them and to appease them and to praise them. You know, when you're trying to live up to somebody else's standards, you pretty much view them as God in your life, because you're constantly trying to make yourself good enough, constantly trying to make yourself better enough for them, when you don't have to do that. All you have to do is be good enough for yourself and be the best that you can be for yourself. You have to, of course, you have to work towards becoming the best version of you for you, so you can reach a certain level of success in life, you know, to where you're able to find fulfillment and feel that what you've done is enough. All right, all you have to do is feel that what you've done is enough for you. You don't have to feel that you have to do enough for somebody else. You don't owe anybody anything. You don't owe anyone anything. And if somebody has a spell over you to where you feel they try to make you feel that you owe them something, you have now broken that spell. All breaking the spell is becoming aware of what somebody's trying to do into your life and stopping it and not continuing to do it anymore. All right, maybe they wanted you to be miserable. Maybe they didn't want you to feel good about yourself. Maybe they tried to lower your self-esteem. All right, maybe they tried to make you feel like You should be guilty all the time because you're not appeasing them, you're not pleasing them, you're not tending to their every need. You don't owe anyone anything. So once you finally realize that, you break the spell. All right, it's a spell that people put over you when they try to, it's just a spell of manipulation. They try to manipulate you into thinking that you have to serve them, you have to attend to their every need, that they're more important than you, that you're supposed to be serving them and not serving yourself. All right, everyone is supposed to be serving themselves. Everyone is supposed to be putting themselves first. Everyone is supposed to be taking care of themselves. Even if you wanted to help somebody else, even if you wanted to take care of somebody else and make sure they were straight, you couldn't do that first anyway until you took care of yourself. You're supposed to fill your cup first and let it overflow, and then you could pour some into somebody else's cup. And the only way you could do that is when your cup is overflowing. And you're supposed to live your life to where you can allow yourself to have a cup that's overflowing. And if you don't feel that that's what you're supposed to be doing, somebody's got you under a spell, and you need to break that spell and put them on silent mode so that way they have nothing else to say. Once you realize these things, they won't have anything else to say because it's like you caught them. And once you catch them in the act of their witchcraft and their black magic and their dark magic, they don't have anything else to say because you know at that point they don't have anything else to say. You could try to prove them wrong, but they're going to not be honest about it. I didn't do that. I don't know what you're talking. They're going to try to do more tactics on you. So it's not even worth it. Once you realize that the spell's being casted, once you realize that they're trying to get you to live your life a certain way and trying to manipulate you into pretty much being like a slave kind of thing, or pretty much being like a servant when it's unnecessary, and that's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be living your life for yourself. You're supposed to be applying yourself for yourself, and then only can you help serve other people. You can't serve other people halfway. All right, you can't serve other people if you're not even serving yourself. If you're not even doing well for yourself, you can't do anything for you. I mean, you can't do anything for other people unless you're able to do something for yourself. Because if you tried, it wouldn't amount to anything. You'd be selling yourself short. You'd be you'd be putting yourself in a bad situation, in a bad position, and you basically just constantly be stuck in a cycle and stuck in a loop because you wouldn't have enough for you. You wouldn't have enough life for yourself. You wouldn't have enough energy for yourself, and you would be spreading yourself too thin. And that's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be spreading yourself too thin. You're not supposed to be putting yourself into any situations that are leaving you stuck. All right. So you are aware of the magic that's been casted. You're aware of the spells that have taken place, and you have been breaking them. All right. You know that you don't need to do anything for anyone that you don't want to. You don't have to do anything for anyone that is trying to make you do more for them than is necessary. All right. You don't have to live up to somebody else's standards for you. All you have to do is be your very best for you. And if that's not good enough for them, don't fall for the trick that you have to please other people. And that's a spell in itself. And if you're aware of that, you've broken that spell also. You don't owe anyone anything, and you don't have to be a people pleaser to anyone. You don't have to please anyone but God. That's the only person you have to please. Stop being a people pleaser if you are, and if you have, more power to you. But if you haven't, this is your confirmation. You don't owe anyone anything. The only person you owe is you. All right. You owe yourself to be your best, not anybody else. You owe yourself to live up to the standards that you choose to set. So that's why you have to hold yourself to a higher standard. If you're not holding yourself to a higher standard, but you're holding yourself to somebody else's standard, you're under their spell. And you have to break that spell. You have to put them on silent mode. You have to put them on silent mode in their life, in your life, and in your mind. So that way they have nothing else to say. When you start to hold yourself to a higher standard instead of their standard, they're not going to have anything else to say because they're going to be aware that you caught on. It's like a thief that's trying to steal something, and you catch them and they're like, when they get caught in the act, it's like, yeah, I see you doing something you're not supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be doing that. I caught you red-handed. Put that back. They need to put your life back. All right. They're trying to control your life. They're trying to make you feel that you're never going to amount to anything. And they're trying to make you feel like you have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect at all, especially for somebody else. If somebody's trying to make you feel that you have to be perfect for them, that's a dirty trick. That's dirty, dark magic right there. And they're trying to make you feel that you owe them something when you don't. You don't owe anyone anything. You don't have to be a people pleaser. You don't have to please anyone. The only person you have to please is God and yourself. You have to be happy with yourself. If other people aren't happy with you and what you've done up to this point in your life or this far in your life, that's just how they're going to feel, you know. But they want you to feel that what you're doing is not good enough. You've probably over exceeded their expectations of you and don't even know it. You probably over exceeded their expectations of you and don't even know it. But the thing is, they have secret animosity towards you, and they have secret, feelings towards you. So they're not going to necessarily applaud you the way that you would expect. They're not necessarily going to celebrate you. All right. They're not necessarily going to appreciate what you've done. All right. They're going to try to make you feel like what you've done isn't much. They're going to try to make you feel like you haven't amounted to anything. And they're going to try to make you feel like what you're doing is never good enough. All right. If somebody is making you feel like what you're doing is never good enough, and you keep trying to please them and come back like, I've done this, I've done that, I'm doing more, I've done this, and they're not doing anything, it's because you're under a spell, and they're doing that to constantly keep you trapped in a cycle to where you please them instead of yourself. You have to please yourself. You have to feel good about yourself. If you care more about how other people feel about you instead of yourself, that is some magic that somebody has casted on you. If you're going out through your life self-conscious, worried about what this one thinks and that one thinks, it's because you're not holding yourself to a standard, but you're holding yourself to life standard. You're holding yourself to society standard. You're holding yourself to the standard of the people around you. You're holding yourself to the standard of others. And you got to break that spell by stop trying to please them and pleasing yourself. If you're doing enough, if you feel you're doing good enough, you got to pat yourself on the back, and you can't look for anybody else to do that for you. You have to do that for you. You have to focus on what you're doing, care about what you're doing, pat yourself on the back for what you're doing, uplift yourself for what you're doing, feel good about what you're doing. Know that you're doing something good in your life, and feel good about it. Praise yourself. Don't look for other people's praise. All right. If you are constantly seeking out the validation, if you are constantly seeking out the praise of others, they got you under a spell, and you need to break it. All right. I'm here to tell you right here and right now, you don't need other people's validation. You don't need other people to validate you. You don't need other people to tell you that you're doing a good job. You don't need other people to tell you that you've done something great. You've accomplished something. You've arrived. You don't need somebody to tell you that you're here. You don't need somebody to tell you, wow, that's really nice. Awesome job. You don't need somebody to tell you that, wow, you're really up to something. You got it going on. You don't need that. You tell yourself those things. If you aren't telling yourself those things, if you aren't telling yourself that you're great, you're amazing, you're wonderful, you're phenomenal, you're awesome, you're astonishing, if you're not telling yourself those things each and every day to make yourself feel like you deserve to believe, you deserve to live life in a positive way, you're under their spell. If you care more about what they think about you than what you think about yourself, you're under their spell. You're under spells that somebody casted on you a long time ago, and you got to break that spell. But how you break it is becoming aware of it, and then you expel the negative spell. You withdraw your permission to be underneath that spell. The spell doesn't work unless you give it your permission. You have been giving certain people your permission to control you. You have been giving your permission to certain people to manipulate you. You have been giving your permission to certain people to walk all over you, and for you to feel that you have to please them. But you've been unconsciously doing it, so you can't be down on yourself for what you didn't know and what you weren't aware of. But now that you're aware of, there's nothing to be scared of. All right, you need to reverse these curses, and you need to withdraw the permission, and you need to take your energy back. You need to take your life force back. You need to take your feel good energy back. You need to take your servitude back. All right. You're supposed to serve yourself before anybody else. Of course, you're supposed to be a servant to your community and a servant to others, but you can't even be that if you're not fully able to take care of yourself and serve you. If somebody's got you feeling that you need to put others before yourself and you don't even have yourself together first, you're not even able to take care of yourself, but you're constantly trying to help and take care of others in a way that you're not even able to do it. It's different if you know something. It's different if you can do something. It's different if you can help yourself in some kind of way and be there to help others in some kind of way. But if they just constantly got you seeking out validation of others, if they constantly have you looking for somebody else to tell you that you're doing a good job, that's not it. You don't need that from other people. You need that from yourself. You don't need that energy you don't need other people's energy to feel good about yourself. If you constantly are seeking out other people's energy, if you're constantly seeking out other people to tell you that you're doing a good job or that you're great, you've been hoodwinked, you've been bamboozled, you've been lied to. All right, so you have to watch out for those things within yourself, so that way you can bounce back. That way you can preserve your energy. That way you cannot freely be giving up your energy to vampires. That way you could not be freely giving up your energy to those who don't deserve that much of you. You deserve more of you than others do. You deserve your best. You deserve the best of you. You deserve the best that you could give someone. If you want to give someone your best, make sure you're giving your best to yourself, because you owe it to yourself. You got to uplift yourself. You can't constantly be trying to have somebody uplift you for something that they're trying to make you feel that they think you need to be doing for them. Trying to make you think you need to be doing it for them. Some people only want you to feel good about yourself if you're doing something for them. Some people only want you to feel good about yourself if you're trying to please them. And still, even then, they never are fully satisfied. They're never satisfied. They try to make it so you keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back, because they make sure that they never make you feel like you've done good enough. And that's a terrible game to play on a person's mind. That's a terrible thing to do to somebody's mind. So you got to break that spell. And now that you're aware of this, you are breaking that spell. And most likely you've already broken that spell, because you've probably realized this a long time ago and saw that this wasn't it for you. I need to put myself first. I need to be pleasing myself. I need to make sure that I'm happy about what I'm doing in my life. I need to make sure that I feel good about myself and what I'm doing today. And when you realize that, you've broken the spell. When you realize that I don't have to please anybody else, I have to make sure that I feel good about what I'm doing. I don't need them to feel good about what I'm doing. I don't have to constantly keep going back to somebody else and seeking their validation. I'm breaking the spell. I'm expelling the negative spell. I withdraw the permission of this evil spell. Shame on them, trying to make you feel that you need to please them. Keep crawling back to them. Keep going back to them, and it's never good enough. That's a manipulative tactic to make you keep constantly going back to them, seeking their validation. And what that does is it causes you to seek the validation of everyone. You seek one person's validation, you're going to seek it all. And that's not good for your self-esteem, because people will see that and walk all over you and use you and manipulate you and make you feel like crap. make you feel bad about yourself. Now your boss make you feel like you ain't doing good enough because he sees you're trying to seek out validation. He sees that you need to feel good about yourself. He sees that you need somebody to pat you on the back so you can feel good about yourself. Now the people at your job are disrespecting you. Now your girlfriend or boyfriend disrespecting you. Now your circle friend group, your peers are disrespecting you. Now everybody's disrespecting you. It's time to break those negative spells. It's time to wake up. All right. It's time to put people on hush mode, put people on silent mode. Oh, he woke up. Oh, she woke up. Oh, he found out. Oh, she found out. Yeah, it's a wrap. It's over. Yeah, all that time, all that effort, all that energy, all that support, all that, I'm getting it from here now. That's not an external kind of thing. We don't need that from other people. This is an internal kind of thing. This is success is an inside job. Feeling good about yourself is an inside job. Validation is an inside job. Making sure that you have the right amount of self-esteem and the right level of confidence, that's an inside job. All right, so keep working on those things. Now that you know you don't have to please anybody. Now that you know you shouldn't be putting anybody first besides yourself and God. Now that you know that other people's what other people feel about you and say about you is not more important than what you feel and say about yourself. What you feel and say about yourself is the word of God to you. What you say about yourself, what you feel about yourself, that's also the word of God. That's your word of God. And you're supposed to be applying it to your life every single day. You're supposed to be making sure that you are checking in on you and feeling good about you and asking yourself, hey, how we doing? Every single day. That's the first person that you're supposed to be checking on and making sure is all right is you. Because you can't fully be there for anybody else if you're not there for yourself. If there are people that are making you feel like you're less important and not important enough to be making sure you're good first, they're trying to do some dark magic on you, and you need to reverse it by becoming aware of it and taking that energy back and putting it into yourself. They're trying to drain you and make you feel that you need to be putting out more than you're giving. They trying to make you feel that you need to be putting out all that into them instead of putting out all that into yourself, which causes depression, which causes low self-esteem, which causes you to feel bad about yourself, feel guilty, have negative thoughts. It's time to put an end to that. And now's the time. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Smash that like button, smash that share button, and don't forget to subscribe. You broke those spells. Now they're on hush mode. They're on silent mode. They don't have anything else to say. I'll see you in the next video.